Hi, Crystal.
Hi, Alison.
Nice to see you. How's the weather in Sabah?
Uh, it's been raining here, continuously for a couple of days. It's rain, shine, hot, then it's pretty unpredictable.
Yeah, same here. It's crazy. And when you only ride a bike as your sole transportation mode, sometimes it's nice, and sometimes when it's raining, you're like, oh my God, I wish I had a car. Do you ride a car too?
Yeah,
Drive a car?
yeah, I have a car. It's my main transportation. My bike is for leisure rides, for freedom, for having fun.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I used to have that too, and then I decided to just use the bike for everything. So yeah, thanks so much for taking the time. Anyway, we've been in contact for a while, and I'm so happy to interview another Malaysian woman because obviously that's my home base. So I'm always interested to chat with Malaysian women and to get more of you to inspire more women as well to take up the sports of motorcycling. So yeah, can you tell us a little bit about how you came to motorcycling on your side?
Okay, so basically, it started since I was young. I'm the only daughter. I have three brothers. So I grew up being a tomboy. I think I still am a tomboy, but more mature, grown up. I put on makeup and things like that. But I do a lot of boyish stuff. So since young, I like motorcycles, and I think I inherited it from my father. He's into motorcycling as well. He rode when he was in his younger days. He even joined some competitions, riding competitions. And I remember when I was in my teenage years, okay, 13, 14 years old, he bought a Harley. And there's with this one time, he rode me to piano class. And as I was riding behind his bike, it's like this mixed sensation, this mixed feeling, it's excitement, yet at the same time I was very scared, at the same time I was very proud. So the thing that went through my mind was, okay, when I grow up, I gotta write my own, gotta write my own. So I kept that promise to myself. So yeah, uh, on the weekends I would watch MotoGP Grand Prix with my father as well. And when I was 16, I got my motorcycle license. So my mom bought me a moped, okay, SRX 125 Yamaha. So I rode it to school. I rode it everywhere to town. Okay, it was my my parents were going through a divorce, so I seek freedom. I seek some route of escape through riding. And when I got my first job, then I thought that I could finally get my own motorcycle. Then every day after work, I would pass by this motorcycle showroom and I'll see this Kawasaki Ninja. It probably was a ZX6R or something like that. And I was telling myself, okay, very soon, very soon, very soon. But then I had my daughter and I had to put my motorcycle dreams aside first. So uh, when she was 2 years old, I was going through quite a rough patch in my life. So I thought about that promise I made to myself behind my riding behind my dad's bike. So I thought it's now or never. So just decided to walk into a bike showroom, have a look see, look see. I didn't even know what I was going to get, but luckily the sales girl she introduced me to some of the bikes, so I instantly fell in love with the bike that I'm riding now, Kawasaki Z250. So I never looked back since then. Yeah, that's
Nice.
basically it.
Nice. I find it interesting that you're not the first one who's telling me that sometimes it's through adversity, and it's when we we hit the ground in a way and we face difficult moments in our life that we actually find our drive, that we find our motivation to do something else, to change our life or to take up a passion. I find it interesting, that in a way the human is made that we try to avoid difficulties, but it's a little bit like riding bike. You fall and then you
Yeah.
stand up again, and that's how you learn, and that's where you find your strengths, right? And
Yes,
so tell me, like as I told you, I have been living in Malaysia for a few years, and in Asia in particular, um, I mean, the riding schools are not like in Europe. Like usually, I mean, my understanding from the different schools I visited is often like when you go to riding school, they just tell you, can you ride already? Because you go to riding school to get your license, but you don't always go to riding school to learn how to ride properly. So can you tell us a bit more about your learning experience? How did you learn to ride a bike, basically?
Okay, so before I was 16 years old, I never, personally tried to ride a bike because I'm a very law-abiding citizen. So when I was 16, okay, I go and enrolled to go get my motorcycle license. So first you need to go get your theory down. So you go for the theoretical learning and stuff like that. Then you go for the practical. So on the practical, I remember my instructor. She told me, "Can you ride a bike?" I said, "No." They said, "You just get on, then you just try your own." So I just try and error. Sometimes the bike just died on me. So yeah, you just pick up from there. First, you normally what people do here is they get their B2 license, which is for motorcycles 250 cc below. So it's easier to handle. Okay, you have to go through several maneuvers, the skills. So I had to go like maybe three times a week just to get used to riding the bike.
But the
So after I passed,
B2, sorry, the
yeah,
B2 is below 250, and also it's automatic bike, or it's you can also learn manual bike when you take your B2.
it's automatic.
It's
You
only
don't need to use the
automatic.
clutch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you take the B full license, then that's when you learn how to actually use the gear shift and be able to ride bigger bikes above 250.
Yes, that's true. So when after I got my license, I didn't ride. After I got my driving license, car driving license, I didn't ride a motorbike for more than 10 years. So when I bought my current bike 2 years ago, that was when I had to start remembering how to ride a clutch motorcycle again. So everything had to come from memory. I remembered that I dropped the bike in the first 2 days of getting my bike, but I still learned with the help of a friend who actually, encouraged me, who nudged me to ride motorcycles again. So yeah, so when you get the B full, okay, you have to learn the skills of maneuvering the big bike, and if you haven't know how to learn how to ride a clutch bike, then that is when you need to learn at the driving institute.
Okay, nice. And so you told, I mean, I know you did some additional training too. So yeah, of course, you had your friends who helped you to, kind of brush up your skills and so on. But I've seen also a few pictures as well where you did additional riding courses, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because I felt that sometimes I didn't know what I was doing on the bike. I needed to improve my skills, so I actually enrolled in the Active Rider Training course, or the ART course. The instructor is Silas. He's a BMW certified instructor. So I joined the course. It's a 2-day course.
Where is
So
that? Where
learn
is
how.
that?
It was in Kuching.
You did it in Kuching. Okay, nice.
Yeah, but he does the course in Kuching and also in Kota Kinabalu.
Okay.
Yeah, so I took the course in Kuching. So learned a lot of very, very important skills, especially defensive riding and braking techniques, cornering technique, very important stuff. Counter steering, especially, yeah. So I learned a lot, and it really, really helped me on the road.
So, what are your biggest challenges as a motorcycle rider, and maybe even more as a woman motorcycle rider? Do you face any particular challenges?
The place that I'm from, Sri Aman, is a very, very small town. It's about 180 kilometers away from Kuching. So in my town, I think I'm the only female rider. So I ride solo most of the time. And, sometimes I really have to ride cautiously and to be very careful because, the roads here in Borneo is very different from the ones in West Malaysia. You got highways, you got proper R&Rs and things like that. But here in Sarawak, the road conditions are very bad. So if I ride solo to Kuching, for example, then I have to be very careful. I rarely make stops unless I really have to, mostly for my security, for my safety. And so when you ride solo, you don't have a buddy with you, so sometimes it's very worrying. You don't get to have somebody take pictures of you riding your bike, so most of my photos are just selfies. Yeah, and being a
Yeah, but I think
mom
is
of a
even I think even in groups, selfie is a culture here. So even in groups, we always end up doing selfies anyway.
yeah, but I do really want to see more pictures of me riding my bike on my bike. Yeah, and being a mom of a young girl, so I cannot take the risk. I cannot have anything happen to me. Otherwise, there's nobody to take care of my daughter. It's not as flexible sometimes because I need to balance family life, time with my kids, time with my job. So that's one of the challenge that I face as a mom. Other than that, sometimes I have no problems riding with guys, but it's just that sometimes if you're the only girl, sometimes it gets a bit awkward unless you know the guys very well and you trust them.
Yeah, fair enough. So, speaking of that, what would be because you say, of course, you have your mother responsibilities and your job, and of course, a lot of women have constraints like that, but you still overcome that because motorcycle brings you joy and happiness. And I was wondering, what would you like to do more? Do you have any dreams or any aspiration when it comes to motorcycling? So I understand that riding in groups and riding with women would be one of them. That would be nice for you and would be a nice aspiration to ride with other women. And I know that one of your key goals is to come with me on one of 3W tours. But yeah, any other aspirations you'd like to share?
Unfortunately, because of the COVID-19, a lot of my plans, have to be postponed or canceled. One of the things that I would really like to do, and I had been planning to do for quite some time, is the blowpipe run, or they call it the BPR. So the blowpipe run is riding from Kuching to Kota Kinabalu or vice versa. That's about 1,300 kilometers in 24 hours in one calendar day. So you start probably, let's say, at midnight, and then you have to reach the destination by midnight on the same that day. Yeah, so I've been wanting to do that for ever since I got my bike. So, but because of the COVID-19, actually I wanted to do it this year, but because of COVID-19, I couldn't do it because borders are closed and everything. So, once the situation settles down, okay, that's the first thing I'm going to aim for.
That's nice. Please let me know when you go because now that you sent me the link and I told you I checked it out, I was like, oh, I still want to do that. But I told you already that because I mean, for those who don't know, like maybe some people who are listening or watching this interview, they I don't know. So Malaysia, I'm based in Kuala Lumpur. It's western part, and there is East Malaysia, which is the island of Borneo, and I mean, it's very different from Western Malaysia. It's much more nature and so on. But yeah, it's a bit tricky to bring the motorcycle there, obviously. So yeah, as I was telling you, I was saying, oh, I've been riding Western Malaysia for a while, but Borneo, I've been traveling there by bus, and every time I'm thinking, oh, by bike would be so amazing. So now that you send me this link and I checked, I was like, oh my god, now I want to do it. So yeah, you really need to look for bikes for me. That's why I joined the group because I thought, okay, maybe I can check out some people there if they can rent me a bike or, when I want to organize a motorcycle tour there. Because yeah, definitely that's an amazing place. So, okay, so let me know when you do that.
Yeah, sure. And the thing about riding in Borneo is, like what you said, there's a lot of nature, countryside roads. Okay, there's a lot of interesting places you can go to. Actually, there are a lot of homestays, a lot of cultural villages. Because Borneo we have Sarawak, Brunei, and Sabah. So there's so many tourism places you can go here. It's lovely, and I know you're gonna love it.
Yeah, I visited in some. I saw on some of your picture. I went to the Kuching Rainforest Music Festival. as well, not in
Yeah.
2019, because I saw you were there in 2019. I saw on the picture. I was there, I think, in
Yeah.
2017, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway,
Mm.
I loved it so much. So yeah, I've been there, but as I said, not on motorcycle, and I really wish I was. Yeah. So any other aspirations? So this blowpipe ride, obviously, one of the big ambition. Anything else?
Mhm. Other ambitions. Okay, other than the blowpipe run, yeah, I want to learn, take a riding course, but more specifically for track riding, because I like to ride twisties and things like that. So I do hope that once the traveling restrictions ease down, be able to go to West Malaysia, take a course, learn how to ride track, and then probably join a track day at the Sepang International Circuit. And if MotoGP comes to Malaysia, yeah, I want to go and watch it personally at SIC.
Nice. And of course, you're welcome to stay with me in KL. I always have a place to welcome other women riders.
Yeah,
Um,
you need to take me on tour.
yes, yes, definitely, definitely. I can take like now, especially at the moment, like now that the borders have reopened, like I'm exploring so many nice new roads because in KL, a lot of people just go to Genting and Cameron Highlands. It's a bit like the usual bikers roads, which are super nice, but it can also be a bit crowded in the weekends. So I started exploring some of the back roads, my secret roads. Not really secret,
Mm,
but anyway, very, very nice one where you can take your time and find a good eating spot and meet cool people on the road. So that's very nice. So
yeah.
speaking of road trip,
Mm.
what would be your ideal road trip? How would it look like?
Ideal road trip. Okay, there are few elements that I would like in an ideal road trip. First, okay, you have some really good riding buddies with you. Second, you have those picturesque roads, very calm, greenery, a little bit twisties, and then you have lots of good coffee stops, places to drink coffee because I love coffee. Yeah, and yeah, those would be some of the elements for a good road trip. So just taking your time, enjoying the ride, feeling the wind in your face, and then enjoying the view, drinking good coffee, having good times with friends. That would be the good road trip.
So how would you qualify like an ideal riding buddy? You know,
Ideal riding buddy.
or riding
Probably
buddies, or riding buddies.
yeah, riding. Yeah, I would like to stick it to maybe a group of two or three. Most is four people, and then ideal riding buddy would be somebody with maybe about the same riding level as I am, or maybe slightly higher. Somebody who would wait for me when I ride, because maybe sometimes I tend to be a bit slow. Yeah, somebody who would you know when to stop. Yeah, because girls, we tend to want to have some stop. We need to take our time. Sometimes, the riding buddy, yeah, somebody who same riding level skill with me lah. Mhm.
And so, speaking of riding buddy, tell me about this experience that you met Grace McDonald, who's quite well-known riders in the women riders world, so to speak, and especially solo travelers. So, yeah, can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Okay, Grace McDonald. She's a really lovely lady. I actually met her by chance. I was going down to Kuching for a day trip to replace a recalled part on my bike. So it was just go early in the morning, and I decided to come back in the afternoon. So as I was riding back from Kuching to Sriaman, so I stopped at one of those little stopovers. I was in a coffee shop drinking my orange juice, and then suddenly I saw this KTM parked, coming and then parked next to my bike. So from the stature, I know that is not a local person. So I was like paying attention. Then when the person took off the helmet, I was like, my jaw dropped because it was a female rider. I was like, wow. And then I just
Such
casually
a
went
rare
over.
spacey, just such a rare spacey.
Yeah. So after that, just casually walked up to her and then say hi, introduced myself, asked her where she was going, and coincidentally, she was going to Sriaman as well because she was on her way to Cebu. So I said, I live in Sriaman. Come, let's go together. So she asked me to lead the way, and we went to Sriaman. I introduced her a hotel, which is safe for bikes, and we had breakfast the next morning. Took her around to see my town, and from then on, we became really good friends and stayed very keep in touch with each other quite a lot. And I follow her on my on Facebook. I see her writing. So one day I would really like to write together with her. She's such an inspiration.
Very nice, very nice. Those yeah, those sometimes those unexpected encounters, right? There's the one that really make trips memorable. I always think, like, if you ask me my best road trips or motorcycle experience, ultimately it always gets back to the people you meet, and the community. So,
Yeah.
so tell me, what are your best riding spots in Borneo, in Sabah or Sarawak? Which riding spots would you recommend in priority?
Okay. So if you're talking about in Kuching area, I've ridden up to Borneo Highlands. It's definitely not for beginners. You need you have to know how to, go down a very steep incline, especially you're going down. So you really need to know how to use your engine brakes and things like that. But it's a very interesting and challenging ride up. I actually went up there and it really helped me improve my riding skills a lot. So going up to Borneo Highland, the view there is amazing. You can see Kalimantan from the viewpoint. And then other than Borneo Highlands, you also have this route along Padawan. It's along the way to Borneo Highlands. So it's going through Kampong roads. You have homestays along the roads. You have little eateries, and it's a little bit twisties, going up and down hills. Very calm, especially early in the morning. The dew, cold weather. Yeah, so I really enjoyed riding those routes. Other than that, if you're talking about Sabah, there's even more interesting places to ride there. You can go up to Kundasang, which is the foothills of the Mount Kinabalu, and then you have Maraparak. You can ride up to the tip of Borneo. I've actually ridden Batu 16 Kimanis, Keningau. I've rode stage 1. So it's basically going up the hill, and then there's a lot of twisties there. It's really interesting, but I only managed to do stage 1. So if I get to Sabah again another time, I want to go down further to stage 2, which is going down to Keningau. So I
So
would really hope to.
what's the difference between stage 1 and stage 2? Is it just a question of distance, or
Going
what do you call stage
is
1 and stage 2?
Stage 1 is going up. Stage 2 is more going down.
But you did
Yeah,
stage 1,
because
so you went up, but then you have to go down, no? Or
yeah,
did
I
you
go
go
up
down?
and then I have to go the other way down, go the other way down through stage 1 again. Stage 2 is going through
Ah,
the other way down.
okay, okay. So you mean that the stage 2 going down is more challenging. That's why it's called stage 2.
Yeah, kind of, yes. More twisties down.
Okay, okay, I see. And did you climb? I don't know. I'm just asking this question, but I was wondering, did you climb Mount Kinabalu?
Oh no, I haven't.
You haven't.
I was
Okay.
yeah, I was a student at UMS, University Malaysia Sabah, but I didn't get the opportunity to climb. Maybe one of these days in the future, yeah, would like to attempt that.
Because that was my first experience of Borneo, actually. I was not living in Malaysia yet, but I was traveling around Asia, and I did the Mount Kinabalu before I actually moved to Malaysia. So that was a really nice experience. And so tell me, what's your most memorable motorcycle experience?
Most memorable motorcycling experience. It was the same year I just got my bike. I was still a beginner, newbie. So that year I went for the Cebu Bike Week 2018. So it was actually my first uh, really long distance ride. Uh, so I rode from Kuching, took the coastal road to Cebu. That means coastal road means we don't have to go through the Pan Borneo, which is under construction. So the coastal roads, you have to take ferries, you go through the village roads, which is really remote, secluded. There's no gas station, so you have to be very well prepared. The thing is, Cebu Bikeway is always held at the end of the year, and it's monsoon season, so it's always raining.
You know,
Yeah, so
just I
like right
didn't
now,
even know. I sorry to interrupt. I just didn't know there was a bike week in Cebu because I know Cebu. I have a friend. She's from Cebu, and I mean, I heard it's a tiny village. Like it's really like in the middle of nowhere, and I didn't even know there was a bike week there.
Cebu is actually a big town. It's
Really?
actually a big town.
Ah, so
So
maybe
yeah,
it's okay. So maybe they go to Cebu and then they go to the village place, which is in the middle of nowhere. But every time they were referring to Cebu, for me it's the the village place where they go to the family. So maybe it's just landing in Cebu and then they go to the kampong, to the village. But how long
okay.
has this bike week been for in Cebu? Is it all
It
motorcycles? For all
yeah,
motorcycles?
yeah, all motorcycles. It's actually an annual event held normally at the end of the year in December. So if it weren't for COVID, it will be in the 10th year this year. So yeah, motorcyclists from Sarawak, Sabah, Brunei all gather together in Cebu, and then it's usually a 3-day event. So yeah, you'll see a lot of friends there, meet up a lot of people. Yeah, back to my motorcycling experience just now. So I was talking about monsoon season. So I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, ready to ride. So right halfway, then it was raining cats and dogs. When I reached the ferry point, the ferry couldn't go because of the choppy sea. So I was stranded for about 3 hours. Yeah, stranded for 3 hours. So we had to wait until the seas calmed down a bit. Then we were able to go on the ferry to get to the other side. So yeah, it's continuously raining, and actually my riding buddies were really worried about me because the ferry was like this, and you have to balance your bike, control your bike. There were so many riders on that day because everybody is going to the bike week. So the whole ferry was cramped up with all the motorcyclists. And the thing is, I was the only female rider there, and then all the other ladies were either the spouses or girlfriends riding pillions. So that was one thing that made me feel a bit proud of myself. Yeah. So yeah, it was the same thing on the way back. On the way back, it was raining cats and dogs again. So it's like, shivering all the way back. Yeah, riding in the dark. Unforgettable.
Yeah, you see, it's again, it's very funny how sometimes our memories, it's always the worst moment that are the most memorable, right? Because for me, it's the same. Like
Mm.
every time I'm thinking about motorcycle rides or road trips that I did in Malaysia, where once I went to the Krabi Bike Week, and same like you, it was not on the ferry, but on the way back, I had 200 kilometers of like crazy rain. And here, like in Malaysia, when it's raining, it's not like small rain. It's like literally you have water until your knees, like because it's like swimming pools, it's like so heavy. And I was like shivering, and for 2 hours, like under the rain, like I think no more, sorry, 200 kilometers. So it took us, I think, 5 hours to get back to KL. And yeah, but every time like I think about that, it's always what you keep in mind, all those kind
Yes,
of things
exactly.
that you overcame, all those
Yeah.
motorcycle adventures that you overcame, basically.
Yes. Yes.
And so yeah, but do you have any pet peeve around motorcycling?
Okay. The thing that gets me the most is, people wearing shorts, wearing slippers when they're riding the bike. I really like, okay, at least wear some gear, proper gear. I really advocate for road safety. I really advocate wearing proper gear, safety first. So if I see, somebody wearing shorts or wearing slippers on their bikes, I'm like, oh my God, okay, please put on some shoes or at least a trousers, protect yourself, protect yourself. And yeah, guys look better if they dress properly on the bike, right? Yeah, not only guys, girls will also look better on the bike if they're properly dressed.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And
Yeah. Other than that,
yeah, sorry.
yeah, other than that, another thing that gets to me is that sometimes when I'm waiting at the traffic light, suddenly from the corner of my eye, I can see somebody looking me up and down, the motorcyclist next to me, checking out my bike. I hope they're checking out my bike, not checking me. Or somebody taking out their handphones, taking pictures of me with paparazzi and things like that. And so sometimes it makes me feel very self-aware, but at the same time, I do not know whether to look at them and give them a peace or a hi to them. So yeah, sometimes it gets to me. I just want to ride in peace, peacefully, minding my own business.
Yeah, fair enough. You never know exactly how people are reacting. I feel at least in Malaysia, usually it's pretty positive. I mean, my experience has always been quite positive. When people realize I'm a woman or a bike, or I felt that was pretty nice. I felt quite safe in that sense, you know.
Mm.
Any particular dreams or motorcycling goals that you have
Motorcycling goals,
or dreams?
dreams. Okay. Probably. Maybe I can talk about my dream bike. Yeah, I've always loved the Triumph Street Triple RS. I just love the way it looks, and I'm into naked bikes because it's nimble, it's light, and for somebody of my height, I'm only 5'2". Sometimes I need to tiptoe, on bikes. So I like naked bikes because it's easier for me to handle. So the Triumph Street Triple RS is something that I really really like, but unfortunately, it's way out of my pay scale. You have to work very very hard to afford it. But the thing that I have my eyes on is the new Trident, which is coming out next year, 2021. Trident. I have my
Yeah.
eyes on that. So
And so how much does it cost? The one you said is very expensive.
about 60,000 ringgit.
60,000 ringgit.
60,000.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that's not a small budget. That's even more expensive than a Harley. Well, I mean, not a new Harley, but yeah, it depends which model, but yeah, it's expensive.
Mm.
Um, okay, cool. Also, like you said, what are you have a few women riders that you admire in particular, right? That you told me about. Do you want to share about them?
Okay, so yeah, of course you have certain role models, you have people that you admire, and I find a couple of them really I look up to. First one is Anna Carrasco. Okay, she rides SBK, 400cc Kawasaki. So I look up to her. Other than that, some local ladies are like Zalika Zailan, Bibi, uh, Ahirin, Yulina. They're all female, riding on the track. So I really look
So
up to them.
you know that so you know that I'm coaching at Most Fun Gym, right? Motocross.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
so
Mm-hmm.
Irene and Yulina are there too. So I actually see
Yeah.
Yulina every Tuesday. So when you come to KL, you can
Wow.
definitely come and see her per visit. So you're right, Yulina is actually racing, but she's coming to the motocross to improve her skills. So yeah,
Ah,
usually when
yes.
I'm coaching on Tuesday, I always see her around. And last week we actually did so Seafood, the owner of Oka Bank, the owner of Mosman Gym, he pushed
Yeah,
us
Okabeng, yes.
to do some burnout on the trail. So we had some fun 2 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
yeah, you'll be
Yeah.
able to meet them when you come to KL.
Yeah, yeah. I saw your post on Facebook. Yeah, I really envy you.
And so, what would you say to women? So there are quite a lot of women actually in Malaysia. I've met myself who say like, "Oh, it's so nice. It looks so cool. I'd love to ride a bike, but I cannot, or I don't have time, or my husband doesn't want, or also women passenger riders who hesitate." And so, what would you and that you can feel that they really feel like doing it, but they have some kind of it's external factors, but most of the time it's more like self-limiting beliefs. Um, what would you tell them?
Okay. Um, every expert is a beginner. It was once a beginner, so you have to start somewhere. As long as you have that interest, you have that passion, you just need to be brave enough to take the first step. And when you take the first step, it's okay to do baby steps. And it doesn't matter where, in any stage of your life, whether you're young, whether you're senior, more mature, or if you're still single, or if you're a mother, it doesn't matter as long as you start. Okay. And I feel that you need to have a good support system, uh, people who support you, people who can encourage you, people who can give you advice, people you can go to. So if you want to start riding motorcycles, maybe it's good to approach friends who are riders themselves. Yeah, they can help you out. Anything that you need to ask, or if you have questions about, I'm sure that they will be more than happy to answer you, to help you out. You also can reach out to other female riders. Like if anybody come up to me, I will be more than happy to help them out, give them advice and things like that. Yeah, so having a good support system is very, very important. You need people to encourage you. And if you want to start riding, maybe it's best to start on a smaller cc bike. Maybe you can borrow a bike from someone, or you can rent one. You can start practicing from there. Or if you have the money, you can go for the courses. Okay. And then maybe it's good idea to watch some videos on YouTube, how to ride, the riding skills, learn the tips. If you want to get some inspiration, you can go and you go to your website, FreeW, get some inspiration from there as well. Yeah, so it's very, very important. And you don't need the most important thing is you don't compare yourself to others. You don't put down yourself, don't feel underestimate yourself, because actually you can do it. You have the ability to do it. So you don't have to think that I need to ride a super sports bike. I need to have riding solo long distances, go on a world tour, something like that. No, you don't need to. As long as you start riding, start somewhere. I feel that actually I feel very honored that you called me up for this interview, because I feel that I actually have so far to go in my motorcycling experience, but I was so honored and I'm so touched that you asked me so I can inspire other women. You have a lot of dreams, so just slowly catch it. Go towards your dream, chase your dream. Yeah. So just keep on dreaming, chase after your dreams. Yeah, that's my advice.
That's very nice. Thank you, Krista. You're right. I mean, it's not a question of performance and skills, and I think that's why. I mean, I like the women's community riders. Of course, there are also like women who will challenge you or all about performance and so on. Of course, but I feel that usually we are a little bit more tolerant and accepting, and that's also the reason why I started Free W. It's because I think that anyone can ride, and ultimately it's not about riding fast or riding far. It's about having this happiness and this sense of freedom, and realizing that we can do whatever we want, and being able to challenge societal stereotypes, and do whatever we feel like doing. That's for me, and meeting people. That's what motorcycle is all about. And you said, yeah, of course, and I'm doing this interview, especially that's the reason why I'm interviewing people who are like you and me, who are not famous, who are just like simple women who ride bikes, and just love that so much, and that we're able to basically add some how do we say, like some sweets to their life, some benefits to their life through this passion and this activity, and we're able to connect with other people and with other women thanks to this amazing activity. And you said, yeah, that's why I want to inspire other women, with women like you. And also, yeah, tell them they can come meet us. So yeah, they can contact, of course, via Facebook and WhatsApp, and ask advices. But that's also why I created 3W, and why I'm giving those classes, is so that women can actually come and meet us, and actually chat with us, ask some questions, try a bike, have a trial class, so that they don't feel so pushed back by when you go to a motorcycle shop, or you go to a riding school, and it's just very manly, very and they feel a little bit
Intimidated.
intimidated, right? Exactly. So yeah, thanks so much for sharing that experience with us and sharing your passion. And so your daughter now is 5 years old, right?
Yeah, she's 5.
So
Yeah,
do you take
in
her on some
kindergarten.
rides? Did you take her on some ride yet?
No, I haven't. I'm waiting for her to get her own gear. Okay, then I'm very then I feel safe to bring her on my bike. You know, because like I said just now, safety first. I advocate for child safety. So yeah, one of the things that I want to do next year is to advocate for child road safety, because I see a lot of children, you know, going to school, parents standing by motorbike without wearing helmets, 2, 3 kids on the bike, you know, kids not seated properly in the car, you know, without their child safety protective seats. So I feel very concerned. So this is something that I would like to do, starting with the campaign at my school. Yeah, so my daughter needs to get proper gear first, then I will bring her on my bike. And when she gets older, when she gets her license, she will get her own bike and she will ride with me.
Yes, very nice. Sounds great. Well, thanks so much for your time again, Crystal. And yeah, looking forward to welcoming you to KL or paying you a visit. We're nearby, you know, it's just neighbors. So to paying you a visit in Sarawak soon. Have a
Yeah,
great have
welcome
a
to
great
come over.
Friday night. Enjoy your
Yeah,
weekend,
you too.
and yeah, chat soon.
Yeah, chat soon. Thank you for having me. Bye, Alison. Bye
Thanks.
bye.
Bye bye.